You know what they say, doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of crazy. And Power Rangers finally has a chance to switch up the formula and do their own thing. We are going to talk about it, break it down, hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the Fan Club.
You're watching the Fan Club.
And you're watching the Fan Club. Do you know what time it is?
And you know what time it is.
It's time for the Fan Club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morpher when it morphed, I made a fake one.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fan Club. It is your boy, Dan Brosnan, in the building. I wanted to kick a fan-first video out. We have been busy. We got a lot of DJ gigs happening, coming up. I even have a DJ gig tonight on a Thursday. Then we got one Saturday. And this has been on the table for like the last week and a half. I've been trying to do this video and I finally got some time to crank it out today. So I wanted to go over this article by CBR titled Disney's Power Rangers reboot finally has the chance to end this distracting franchise trend. I want to break down what they're talking about, give you my 2 cents, and what the future really looks like when it comes to the brand. So let's just jump right into it. The Power Rangers franchise has a complicated history with several changes in production and ownership over its 30 years on TV. After the finale of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, the series was meant to be rebooted by Netflix, but this ended up being canceled before its premiere. This has left the series in a lull, but fans are excited about the future of Power Rangers after a recent announcement from Disney+. Disney Plus has announced its plans for an upcoming Power Rangers series, which has left many fans excited and curious to see what the series will be like. One of the biggest issues with the original series is the strict formula, with almost every episode following generally the same outline. With this upcoming series, many fans hope to see the upcoming series break the formula and bring new life to the franchise. A brief history of the production of Power Rangers. The series has gone through multiple changes in production. The Power Rangers franchise has gone through a lot of changes when it comes to production. Firstly, Saban came up with the idea of adapting the Japanese tokusatsu series Super Sentai for a Western audience, with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers debuting in '93. Saban produced 10 seasons of the hit show before Disney bought out the production rights during the airing of Power Rangers Wild Force. Disney took over the brand and produced several seasons and really managed to take the franchise in a new direction. However, the ratings weren't up to Disney's standards, with Power Rangers RPM being the final season under Disney. Saban then bought back the rights and produced 8 seasons, going back to the more simple storytelling of the Mighty Morphin era in an attempt to recapture the magic of the original series. When Hasbro bought the production rights, many fans hoped that the series would go in a fresh direction, but it was much of the same in terms of style and storytelling. When Netflix announced its plans for a complete reboot, there was a lot of excitement, with fans hoping to see a fresh story in the style of the 2017 movie. However, when the reboot was canceled in production, the franchise went dormant until Disney Plus announced its plans for a new series. While very little has been revealed about the upcoming series, fans hope to see a fresh take on the franchise with original storytelling and a change from the predictable formula that the franchise has used throughout its 30-year run. Despite running for 30 years, the Power Rangers brand is known for its incredibly repetitive formula, with very few episodes breaking from the episode setup used in majority of the series. While this formula could be due to the constraints of the Sentai footage, Power Rangers could easily have written more dynamic stories and used the Sentai footage in more creative ways. Each Power Ranger episode starts off with establishing the Rangers dealing with some issue in their daily lives, then the monster of the week attacks. The Rangers fight the monster and foot soldiers before the villains flee. The Rangers then try to figure out how to beat the monster while dealing with the issues of their civilian lives, which all culminate in a final battle. The Rangers defeat the monster grows, and the Rangers defeat it after a Megazord battle, leading to a resolution of their interpersonal problems in the final few minutes. There are certainly creative ways to make this formula feel fresh, such as introducing new powers, Zords, or weapons. However, for the most part, the majority of Power Ranger episodes feel very repetitive, which could be a reason to why the series has failed to capture that wider audience. While these formulaic episodes do allow for each Ranger to shine individually in different episodes, the overall pacing of the show can feel rather slow with its repetitive formula. Despite the majority of Power Ranger episodes following this formula, there are a decent number of episodes that break away from the usual setup, and these tend to be much more memorable, well-received episodes in their respective seasons. In the Saban era, some of the most iconic episodes, including Mighty Morphin's Green Ranger Saga, which introduced the Green Ranger Tommy Oliver. Considering how much the early episodes of Mighty Morphin stuck to the established formula, it was very refreshing for fans to see a drastic change in the status quo. 6 Ranger introductory episodes tend to always stand out, as they always break the usual formula by introducing a new major character. But now that formula has been played out because we've had so many 6th and 7th Rangers. Team-up episodes tend to be memorable as well, with 2 Ranger teams from the current and previous seasons meeting and interacting, making for some great television. These episodes tend to involve more creative storytelling, such as the Forever Red anniversary episode, which saw 10 Rangers from the first 10 seasons teaming up. The episode featured all original footage and had the Rangers actually identify an incoming threat and go into space to deal with it, rather than passively stay on Earth and waiting for them to attack, which tends to be the norm in Power Rangers. These episodes prove that Power Rangers works when it breaks the formula, with Forever Red especially proving how well an episode can work if the series doesn't limit itself to the use of Sentai footage. When it comes to Power Ranger stories that broke the formula, there is a pretty good precedent set by Power Rangers 2017, which Disney should certainly look to for inspiration. Now, don't take everything they did, but there are some things they did that could be used in this new project. While the 2017 movie saw mixed reviews upon release, it has developed somewhat of a cult following, with even non-Power Ranger fans remembering it was a good movie that deserved a sequel. Where the movie did well was its character writing, with most of the story exploring the motivations and backstories of each character before they finally morph into their suits in the third act. It could be argued the movie was simply the typical Power Rangers formula spread out over a feature-length runtime. The emphasis on character over action made for a great standalone film, with the Rangers having deeper problems than those typically portrayed in the show, which often get resolved by the end of the episode. Typically, all of the Power Rangers movies break from the formula, with Mighty Morphin featuring the Rangers losing their powers and traveling to a distant planet to harness new powers to save Zordon. The Turbo movie also broke away from the formula, having the Rangers be more active, going out on more missions besides just going about their daily business, waiting for a monster attack. What these 3 films have in common is that they weren't limited by Sentai footage and thus able to tell more creative stories. The Boom comics are a great example of the lengths of storytelling that can occur when the franchise breaks away from the formula. Given the medium of comics, the stories are allowed to be a lot more dynamic and unexpected. The Go-Go Power Ranger comics, for example, follow the Rangers before the arrival of Tommy Oliver, exploring stories and missions involving the Rangers that couldn't be done in the early days of Mighty Morphin, such as the Rangers going up to the moon to infiltrate the palace of Rita Repulsa. Now, we're only halfway through, and I gotta say, they are doing a great job. Shout out CBR over there, great website. They did their research on this. Let's keep it going. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic series explores the team after Tommy's arrival and presents a much more dynamic take on the original team and their stories. While in the series, Jason, Trini, and Zach leave the team to attend a peace conference overseas, the comics explores a story in which the 3 Rangers went off to a distant planet and become the Omega Rangers. While the medium of comics allows for these stories, TV shows often have to take budget into consideration, And as Power Rangers has a notorious history with budgeting, it is understandable why it was easier to stick to a more formulaic story with the use of Sentai footage. The Disney Plus announcement of the new series seems promising to fans, finally giving the fresh take on the series fans have been hoping for since Hasbro bought the production rights. Given that Disney tends to allocate higher budget to their shows than what Power Rangers is used to, fans can expect a bigger story with more dynamic storylines. As the series will be likely 8 to 10 episodes long, it is likely that the series will feature a more focused story with very little room for filler, where the nature of the show tends to be more noticeable. Oh yeah, that formula of Power Rangers, very noticeable, and there's a chance that they could do their own thing and switch up this formula. The series is set to have Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz as showrunners, who are best known for Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is arguably the perfect direction for Power Rangers, as Percy Jackson is also a story targeted towards a younger audience while still being enjoyable to adults. The upcoming series should certainly look to Power Rangers 2017 when it comes to character writing, and perhaps take inspiration from the team-up episodes and comics in terms of storytelling. By avoiding the repetitive formula of the original series, Power Rangers could finally garner the wider audience it has been trying to achieve. And I just want to clap for a second. They did an amazing job. Does it say on here who actually wrote this? I want to give them their credit. Cameron Kelly, you did a great job with this article, but I cannot lie. Fantastic job. I agree with everything you're saying here, and we've been saying this as fans for like 4 or 5 years, and this used to be a very polarizing topic. I remember like 5-6 years ago when the Illuminati first broke the news that Hasbro someday is going to move away from Toei. Like there's going to be a breakup, there's going to be a split where they both focus on their own things, and Netflix or whoever was working on Power Rangers at the time was going to go their own direction and make more original stories. And some fans lost their minds. It was actually a really polarizing topic. It was divisive. Some fans, like myself, enjoyed the idea of them doing their own thing. And I've been saying for years, like, they spent, what, $500 million on Power Rangers? They want to go after, like, a big Power Ranger project. Like, we see them always put money behind Transformers and the other brands that they own. It's about time that they swing for the fences with Power Rangers, and we finally have something cool happening. I am excited about it, and I know some fans are sad because Toei has came out and said, like, they're focusing on their own thing right now. Disney Plus and like the guys putting the show together, they haven't actually released a statement. We have just seen all of these like media companies come up and say we have the scoop. So like behind the scenes, they're being told and leaked this information. Even companies like IGN, CBR, all these big ones that have like hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're able to go and vet these stories better than a guy like me is. So when I see them kind of post about this, I got to talk about it. But I think they did a good job telling you that if you want to see Power Rangers live a longer life, they're going to have to take some risks and switch it up. And I've made several videos talking about the biggest problem with Power Rangers is identity crisis that it's having. If you think about it, you know, everyone that grew up on Power Rangers is now an adult at some point. Even if you grew up in the Disney era or the early Neo Saban era, everyone is like 18 and older, and there's nothing for us anymore, right? And the stories that they were making, they didn't really resonate with today's kids. The characters, the design, something, it just wasn't there. And you have kids or have a little brother or sister, you see that it's completely different the way that they consume media. They're just watching a bunch of YouTube channels and shows and apps and stuff. It's completely different than it used to be, at least when I was a kid in the 90s and early 2000s, we had cable, and then, and through time there was Netflix and other things, but now it's a completely different landscape. And I think if you're going to make a kid's show, you have to switch it up. And I've always said, make a PJ Masks type show, make a Paw Patrol type show with all the Power Ranger characters. That would just be lit. And overall, they need a switch up. They need to get rid of the formula for a while, because we know what the formula does. We know what the formula has been doing for the last 10, 15 years, and it's been decent. It sells merch. Like, it's not like we don't sell anything. It's just they want to make Power Rangers a top 5, top 10 name again in entertainment. And Power Rangers is known. It's a household name, but most people just know it because of Mighty Morphin in the 90s type thing. Or they know what a Power Ranger is, but they couldn't tell you, like, the names of any Power Rangers besides maybe Tommy or Jason or Kimberly or something like that. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. I think that CBR, they did a great job. Cam was the name. Cameron, you did a great job writing this article. You were right on the money. And I think most fans at this point realize this. We have to move on. And I'm not saying that we can't ever come back to adapting Super Sentai footage. And I know that's how Power Rangers was created, but it's a new wave. We need to try something new. And wouldn't it be nice, now that we're adults, to have a show for us? Something that we can watch and enjoy, but still, I mean, if the Percy Jackson people are going to make it like Percy Jackson, I thought that was a perfect show where kids can watch. I can watch this with my teenager, but I can enjoy it too. Like, we watched Percy Jackson and that was fun. I'm super glad I watched it now, because I kind of get that sense of where they're going, and I'm down. If, like, Percy Jackson wasn't that good and then they said, oh, Power Rangers is going to be created by this guy now, I'd be like, no. But I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time. Let me know your thoughts, and as soon as we get more information, we will jump on it. But thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this content. You are the real MVPs and the reason why we can continue to make stuff like this. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Peace. I want to give a special shout out to the Gold Ranger members Salima Ramirez, Stephen Heffelman, Anime King Nick, Louis Cairns, Thomas Franco, and Roderick Ham. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want a video shout out like this one, sign up to be a Gold Ranger member today. Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, hit that share button, and if you can, please sign up to be a member today. We have 3 membership power-ups. We have the Gold Ranger power-up, the most popular. You get into our exclusive fan club chat group. We have fan-exclusive videos that we are adding monthly now, and you get a video shout out. Yes, folks, at the end of our videos, I will shout out your name. We also have the Quantum Ranger power-up, where you get monthly meetings online with me. Yes, folks, we will talk once a month on Zoom, and you can give me your ideas for future episodes. And then we have a professional package, the Dr. K power-up. That is for businesses that want to tap into the platform. If you guys can, please sign up to be a member today. It is highly appreciated, and it helps us keep these videos going. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Hi, we're Bulk and Skull. We have been requested by the fan club to say something funny.